Hi Scorpio, welcome to your June 2019 monthly readings. So this is your no, show, and grow reading. So the first set of cards that I use, the first three cards you'll see, they're affirmation cards, things you might want to say to yourself in the morning. And then I have tarot. So the first card you guys got is I am third eye. It's what you need to know. What you need to show is I am organized. And then what you need to grow is I am me. Okay. So those are things you may want to say to yourself in the morning. Your cards that you got are the Seven of Cups. It says projections on it. You have the Sun card. It says innocence. You have the Queen of Swords, which is intelligence, it says. You have the Six of Pentacles. It says success. The Five of Wands. It says strife on it. The Page of Wands, capabilities. And then you had three extra cards that popped out. Or no, four, sorry. So it was the Ten of Wands, the Hangman, the Eight of Swords. Yeah, Eight of Swords. It says barriers on it. And then the Knight of Wands. It's intensity. Okay, so what you need to know is I am third eye, the Seven of Cups, and Six of Pentacles. So you got projections and success. So let's deal with the tarot first, okay? So a lot of you could be seeing images. Like, what do I mean by images? It's like projections of other people. So like on Facebook, social media, those type of things. People saying that they're successful, but they're really not. Okay, it could be they're trying to project that image, right? Most people that are comfortable in themselves or that have stuff and they are successful in life, they're not boasters, they're not braggers. You can see this like from a human behavior psychological aspect on Facebook. People that post a lot of images of themselves, uh, like selfies. You see people that do a lot of selfies. Those are people that want attention, not respect. Okay, like so in um, some point in their past, not always. Okay, I'm not a doctor. All right, I'm not a professional psychologist. I have certifications. That just means knowledge. That's all that means. It doesn't mean wisdom. Wisdom is somebody who's gone to school for, like 5 to 10 years and they've got their degree and they're out there practicing. They have their own practice. Those are doctors, okay? But a person that like is obsessed with self-image, okay, like that take a lot of selfies, say on Facebook, that person lacked attention at some point in their past, in childhood, usually from a parent. Not always, but usually from a parent. Okay, so there's some sort of insecurity. They're seeking validation or attention. Okay, there could be like a lot of other probabilities for that, but generally speaking, that's what it stems from. So they're projecting confidence, but they actually lack confidence. Okay, because when you're secure in yourself, a lot of people that if you're again Facebook, okay, if you're looking on Facebook, people that have a lot of images of nature, say, or surroundings. Okay, we're not talking like food items or the hotel they're at, but just at nature. Okay, like images of like nature, it would be most likely those people that you see that have those on their Facebook pages and they don't really have selfies or anything like that. They're quite content in themselves. They're usually confident people, and they're probably the ones that have a lot going on for them. But you'd never know it, right? Because they have it, they have no need to project it. It's like You hear that saying, if you got it, flaunt it. It's when people actually lack it, they try to flaunt it. When people have it, there's no need to flaunt it, right? Like, so, you know, like, because you have the seven or the six of pentacles and then the seven of cups, and the seven of cups says projections and six of pentacles says success. In order for you to be successful, you have to see through all of this with the third eye card. The third eye is associated with Shiva, right? When Shiva was angry, he would activate his third eye and he could see through a different dimension, right? So you got to see things differently. You got to use your, it's also, the third eye is about foresight, right? And the mind comes into effect to have foresight. Sometimes to have foresight, you have the Queen of Swords here too. She has foresight. She's highly intellectual. She's intelligent, obviously, but she's, they can call her the divorced woman, I think they say, but she's an experienced woman. She's one with wisdom because she's valued the past. She's taken lessons from the past, right? She's not easy to fool. Okay, so you learn things because you have the Knight of Wands. That's why I'm getting there. You have to experience things to learn things. The Queen of Swords is intelligent because she understands to predict the future. You have to understand the history. Human behavior comes into effect, and humans are mammals, and just like mammals, there's a pecking order, and animal instincts kick in, right? And out in the wild, just because people are humans doesn't mean that they're better than the animal kingdom. We can all stoop to that level, okay? So, like, and the Native Indians believe too, if you that every person has a spirit animal, okay? Like, and if you try to understand that, if you look at people, you can associate a specific animal with that person. Like, and when you understand that, you can have foresight in how that person's going to react. So it sounds weird, you guys, but the characteristics of that person. But we all have animal instincts, okay? Like, why I'm saying this is because you have the Strife card, okay? And I don't like the Five of Wands, you guys. Those of you watching me, you know that because it's an action-oriented card. It means that there's action being taken to one-up another person, or to compete with another person, or to harm another person. It's action being taken, okay? And when you have the Queen of Swords here in the section of what you need to grow intelligence, when you understand that people are human, okay, which means that, and they're part of the universe, which everything is connected, like, you understand animal instincts for survival can kick in. People can do some pretty dirty things, but that's like their animal instincts kicking in, all right? It's survival, all right? If you're not the one that's being chased, then you're the one that has to chase. All right? If you're not being the hunted, you're the hunter. All right? Like, there's you have to take on what you need to grow is the Queen of Swords. So her intelligence comes into effect. Like, she doesn't take things personally because she can foresee how people are going to react based on their character, right? Not personality. She's a woman who understands the difference between personality and character. Anybody can fake personality. Again, going back to Facebook, the people that betray things, all right? Personality is a lot of talk, okay? Character is different. Character is based on who the person is as an individual, okay? They could say something, but they can do the complete different. They could pretend like, I don't care, but then they end up helping a person that they said they weren't going to help because they care. That's character. You can't change a person's character, right? If a person's caring, you're going to see the effects of that person being caring. They could say one thing, but they'll do another. That goes to the same for somebody who's full of personality, right? They say that, oh, I'm a caring person, but then that's personality. Then their character, they're not helping, like, they just say it. So you got to become the Queen of Swords, who's highly intellectual. She understands the difference between the two. So you got to align what you see and what you hear. Okay. You also have to use your third eye, which is, it can be perceived as intuition. You're going to know things before they happen. All right. When you understand history, you can understand the future. Okay. It's pretty easy to predict. Or, uh, so it's like your third eye would be, you're going to have to trust it. All right. It's like when you're in darkness, that like with Shiva, when he was in darkness, his third eye activated, like he could see through his third eye. Right. So when bad things happen, you could still see. It's just through senses, and senses that uh, you're going to have to trust. But also with the Seven of Cups, I'm going back and forth. It's just what I'm getting, you guys. All right. I'm feeling it's the energy. And it's a lot of energy I'm feeling right now. With the Seven of Cups is like wishful thinking. All right. It's also the card of wishful thinking. It's having a lot of options, or wishing you had a lot of options, or what if I had this? What if I would have done this? What if I, none of it really matters. Like, in order to be successful, you have to deal with the here and the now. You have to deal with what you have in front of you. All right. Like, the wishful thinking, as in, like, um, a person wants to lose weight, but they're just sitting on the couch, and they take a pill that claims to magically get rid of the weight instead of actually going out and doing the work. Because you have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands, this is an energy that you're being given. You have to go out and experience it. So you got places to go, people to see, and things to do, but you have action that needs to be taken. Night is in a learning phase, right? But you can't be a teacher unless you're a student, right? The second you stop becoming a student, you stop becoming the teacher, all right? Like, you have to experience things. The Knight is fire, which is action, which is experience, right? Like, again, I said this in somebody else's video. We all know the stove's hot, right? But until you put your hand on it, then you experience it being hot. Usually a kid does that, right? Like, they touch it. I just told you not to touch it. But then their hand's hot, right? Like, so what you need to know is wishful thinking is not going to get you anywhere. There has to be action taken behind it, all right? In order, you will be successful, all right? You just have to apply yourself and be patient too, because the Six of Pentacles, there has to be give and take, right? So it's like there could be one step forward, two steps back, right? Or two steps forward, one step back, right? But once action is taken, the necessary action is taken, and the proper tools, the tools are given, which means experiences. They're going to be experiences, things you're going to go through. You're going to gain wisdom and knowledge, which equip you like tools. You can move forward. I know that sounds weird, you guys, but it's what I'm getting. It is what it is. All right. What you need to show is I am organized. You have the Sun, and then you have the Five of Wands. All right. So what you need to show with the Five of Wands is, again, I don't like that card. Okay, it's fighting an unnecessary battle, you guys. Okay, and battles, when you battle, there's only victims in that. Okay, you got to sacrifice a lot to battle, and you're left with usually nothing. There's no victory over it. Okay, a battle's fought before a war, and a war is only fought as a last resort type of thing. There's always a solution, right? Like, you don't want war because it's going to be unnecessary conflict and suffering involved in it, so you avoid it at all costs, right? The sun here is shining. It's like illumination. With I am organized, that could mean you need to be more scheduled. You need to plan things out a lot more. Uh, That means you want vacations. You might have to in order to save money and stuff, plan them a year in advance. All right. Organized is your work-life balance as well. Like you have to have you time, and then time with your family, and then time with friends, and then your work time, right? You need hobby time, relaxation time. You gotta organize a little bit of everything into your life. Some of you guys might need to make webs, which is like your idea that you have, and then branch it out. Sit there and write the things, and then step by step, look at it, see what's obtainable, one step at a time. It's action being taken though, okay? Like nothing's going to get done because you want it to be done. This is all you, all right? Strife is the sun on top of the Five of Wands, which is strife. It's saying what you need to do is get over the past, what's no longer serving you. Innocence means like waiting. It's a child, right? Innocence of a child. They're hopeful. They believe that they can be an astronaut. They anything's possible, right? Like they're optimistic, right? Also a trait of the Knight of Wands. But the sun is hot, so it's like burned what's already dead, and new growth can happen. Organization is key for you guys. You can do that in many aspects. You may need to get somebody to help you. Organization as well is maybe organizing your thoughts. What's not serving you anymore, you need to remove that and train your focus on the things that matter, right? The improvement, the things you want, the things you need, right? And then what you need to grow is I am me, being an individual. Uh, you know, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. You got to focus on you, your wants, your needs. Then you have the Queen of Swords. She's a logical woman, all right? Doesn't mean that she's not emotional or loving or caring. She's very loving, very caring, usually very witty. They can be really fun people. If when it comes to lovers, the Swords characters, I call them the movie romance people. And what do I mean by that? It's what they see is like in movies, they think that you're supposed to do that. So they're like the wine and dine you ones. They can fly you away somewhere, the romantic dinners, like the things they see, they will try, right? Because they think that's how the way it's supposed to be. Or they're the ones that if you're sitting down watching a movie with them, and it's like a romantic comedy, they might sigh when they see a specific thing being done on the television in the romantic comedy, like, why don't you do that? Or, like they're those ones. Or and then you have the Page of Wands capabilities. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little stumped with that one. Like a blockage that you're having is like it's self-focused. So like you're capable of more than what you think you are. And you're capable, it's like if you looked back at your past, all the things you've been through, you would pat yourself on the back, right? You've gotten through it all. It wasn't the end of the world in that moment you thought it was, but like down the road, like now it's not so bad, right? So what you need to grow with I am me, that's being comfortable in who you are, your likes, your dislikes. You don't have to go along with the crowd. You don't have to say, I like this, I like that. You don't have to say that a person's good when you know that they're not good. Like you got to be confident within yourself. When you're not confident, it shows through. And you can see it in the third eye, right? Like, so that's the things that are unseen or seen. It's like I was saying on Facebook, you can see people that are claiming to be themselves, but really aren't. They're not confident. They're not comfortable in who they are trying to portray an image and they want people to see that image, right? So when you're comfortable with yourself, again, going back to earlier what I said, usually you see those people on Facebook as the one that have imagery for nature, Mother Nature. It's like facing outwards. It's not inwards. It's facing outwards. It's like subliminally, like unconsciously, they're showing you like the vista. You know, like this is what the world has to offer you. Isn't it beautiful? They're comfortable with that, right? Like because they're comfortable in with who they are. So with projections, you know, you want to like, and people don't realize, right, unless you've studied psychology and human behavior and stuff like that, you wouldn't realize um, that certain people are who they are, right? Like what they're projecting their wounds outwardly, and you can see them, you can visibly see them. It doesn't mean that you have hatred towards these people. Like even if they crossed you over, again, going down to animal instincts, it was survival, right? It was like either I take you down or you take me down, right? Because this is my bread and butter, or you know, like I don't know why I'm saying that. You don't get angry at these people. The Queen of Swords understands that, you know, like she would feel sympathy for them. Everybody says she doesn't care. She understands the human behavior aspect. Like the how bad do you got to feel about yourself that you went into that mode of survival, right? Like, because you can always get another job if something happened at work and somebody screwed you over, or in love or some aspect, right? Like if you're staying with a person that's cheating, right? Like this woman would look at that person like, how bad do you got to feel about yourself to stay with that person? Like, because you don't feel worthy, right? Like you, in some manner, she would understand that that person who's being cheated on feels like they deserve it in a manner, or their confidence was taken away from them somehow. She would feel sympathy for them. If a person tried to screw her over at work, she would already have the foresight of it, but she would understand and possibly even call them on it, just say it to them, but not hold anything above them, right? Like that person's going to feel really bad when she calls them out and tells them that, you know, you're acting this way because you know, of some childhood trauma issue or something like that, right? Like she could do that, right? Like her word, a knife, sometimes a pen is sharper than a sword, right? So she has the ability to use the sword and the pen. Like she's an intellectual, where she has foresight, though. She's extraordinarily intelligent, but she would um, logically understand why a person did something, but be able to remove the emotion from it. She understands it, so she's removing the emotion, so therefore she's not emotionally going to react from it. She's not going to get angry. She's going to intellectually, how do I deal with this? All right, like how do I deal with this when I know that this person's in this state of mind? I have to make them feel comfortable. If it was in a relationship and a person was insecure, her emotion would be removed, and she would know I have to do this for them. Right? I have to say this to help them out, right? I'm not going to hold it against them. If the person got angry, you know, it's because they have repressed emotions that they don't know how to properly express. All right, like there's a healthy way and then there's a negative way, and when you can't express your emotions, it can come out like anger, right? So she would give that person time to figure things out, and because she also understands on an intellectual level that when you say something, anybody with a heart is going to feel the effects of that. They're going to reevaluate, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Right? So they would feel really bad for it. She's quite intelligent, though. She's witty, though. She's funny. Okay, so don't be afraid to, you know, crack some jokes. Scorpios are quite funny. All right. All right, you guys. Hopefully that helped you out. Yours is shorter, thank goodness. There's barriers, right? Like, so everything I'm saying to you, evaluate it. Like, with the people around you, yourself, the hangman is talking about seeing things in a different perspective, new vision, right? And the 10 of wands is like putting down the wands, all right? 10 is a completion, you know? You know, it's funny, you guys, when I looked at the 10 of wands, I just heard somebody like, because the wands, you're like carrying the wands on your back, right? But what I heard was like, I'm carrying this wood to make a fire. Because generally speaking, it's like the 10 of Wands is a burden where you're carrying all of it and you're like, oh, I just can't do it. And then you collapse. You're like, but like, I just heard like, I'm carrying this wood for fire. There's a purpose, right? Or I don't know why, but that came through. So I'm going to pull a little wisdom card. See what comes out. It's hilarious. But the Knight of Wands is about, that's you, the energy you're being given, okay? And we all need to be knocked to a night phase because that's experiences, knowledge, and wisdom that we have to go out and get. And the only way we get that is by taking the action necessary and going out there and venturing, right? The queens are sitting there, so they don't have to go anywhere, okay? The knights, though, their movement. They have to go these places to get the tools they need, you know? Like, to get the goods that they need. Find their gold. Find their land. They have to take the action. All right. Oh, that's cute, you guys. It says retreat. Do you feel tired, stuck, or tired? It is time to go within. It could be time to meditate, sit in silence, or take a solitary journey. Sorry, you guys. Is your ego hurt or outraged? This may be the voice of your inner child calling for healing. Listen to it, to its complaints. Ask, what can I do? Often your little you will be soothed by being heard and knowing you have this. Retreat from the hustle, sit with your pain, and find wisdom in the silence. I think that's kind of fitting with the reading, right? Everything's going to be all right, you guys. This is, these readings are for self-reflection to help you move forward to the next step, right? Because we can be our own worst enemies and we block ourselves. Okay, so there's some importance here of why you need to take on the Queen of Swords characteristics. It's going to help you improve, move forward, get past the barriers, and move on. Like, you got places to go, people to see, and things to do, man. Land to build. You know, like there's a journey for you out there. It's not done. It's just getting started. You have free will, though, right? Your destiny is not written. You're going to write that. Your free will decide what destiny you're going to fulfill. All right? All right, you guys. Namaste. Talk to you next month, and ciao for now.